morning, YouTube. Welcome to day...
Oh, it's not good morning. It's
oh no, sorry.
It's 3 o'clock.
Correction. Good afternoon, YouTube. Yeah, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We have just seen our first show of the day, which is Shook. The reason I'm doing that, if you've not seen what we've been doing before, I keep calling it Shock because I'm really rubbish with names. Which is a play by fourth year production from the Acting and Stage and Screen course at the Edinburgh Napier and Queen Margaret here in Edinburgh. It's a four-handed play by Samuel Bailey, and pretty much the cast have done everything themselves. It's directed by Rebecca Morgan. It's the lighting design is by William Dron, and the company have done the costumes, the set design, everything themselves. Janie's just going to read Rebecca's director's notes so you get a feel for what the play is about.
I feel typically in theatre and screen, the lead man saves and inspires the woman so she can succeed in her life. However, with this story, it's Grace who shows the boys their true potential and how to become great fathers. The play challenges stereotypical female and male gender roles in exciting and insightful ways. This play examines what it means to be a vulnerable boy in a place where it is not acceptable to be vulnerable.
And this is longer than the majority of other plays that we've seen here at the Fringe. This is an hour and 20 minutes. I mean, we just to give you background, if you haven't seen it, we actually saw 2.5 minutes of this play at a press conference by the Space, who were hosting this and other plays. And we were knocked out by that 2.5 minutes, and actually we were talking to the guys afterwards, and they said it isn't the best 2.5 minutes of the play, but we were sold on it at that point.
Yeah. For Cain, Ryan, and Jonjo, life as young offenders is tough. Each there for different reasons, they are forced to spend their sentences together, killing time by exchanging sweets, banter, and truths, sharing one thing in common: awaiting fatherhood. With their responsibilities as parents impending, Grace must help them turn from boys to men before they are forever lost to the system that failed them as children. This new and exciting piece of writing is a must-see for its honesty, timely themes, and persistent comedy, guaranteed to make audiences leave laughing and with something to think about. Let's take a look at Shook.
You got a kid then? Sort of. Sort of? Is that like it? Your business, mate. Have you ever got any bird to fuck in?
Fuck you! 9, 10.
I got one already. Marcus. Aye. I'm a soldier. But I'm no way his mum. That's pretty shit. I'm gonna change that though, when I get it. You different than that?
What are you going to do at Maths Nat 5 anyway, mate?
I don't know.
Exactly.
After I'm done with this, Jake says I can take hires. Go uni then.
Oh, I'm surprised he can say all that when he's got his tongue up your arsehole.
Fucking what?
Oh, go ahead, mate, see what happens, see what it gets you, don't test.
Fucking told me! Fucking test together!
Hi everyone! Thanks for waiting. There are a few things to, go through. My name is Grace. Nice to meet you all. Shall we take a seat?
You know what, mate? Fuck this. I'm gonna go see if Jake will let me use his computer. Get out my fucking way.
Mr. Bradley is outside if you want to leave.
You know, you should fucking write him up for that, having a stop being aggressive, weren't they? He's already finished his PO, get fucking kicked out.
He can leave if he wants to. That's fine.
Just saying, you might watch him, telling you.
Look, why don't we just take a seat? Don't worry about what's going on out there.
Nah, sack myself. He's probably out there spreading shit about me. Listen, mate, you wouldn't have started, you know, when Ryan was having a laugh and all that. You wouldn't have done nothing, would you?
You're more than welcome to stay. But if you're gonna leave, then leave. Or take a seat.
Alright, fuck me, I'm gone. You know, you've got to stick up to yourself though, and here, mate. Otherwise, mate, the time you've got seem like fucking forever, man. How long are you here for anyway?
Mr. Walters!
Alright, fuck me, man.
You must be Jonjo.
Yes, miss.
Would you like to stay? Good. Well, we can be new together. You're going to be having a baby daughter, right? That's exciting. Lots to look forward to. Shall we get started?
And I have to say, I just thought it was an absolutely stunning piece of work. And we don't want to give you any of the plot away, as is usual with these sort of things. So it's quite difficult for us to fill you in on exactly what.
Yeah, but it's incredible. It's full of energy.
It is.
I mean, there are times when there's dips, but those.
I think that's about pacing, isn't
But
it? There needs to be those moments when, because one of the characters, which is Cain, he actually says that he's got ADHD, and he's hyperactive. This
incredibly
this
all
guy.
the time.
So we have three very different male characters, and that sort of testosterone-filled. Almost getting to the point of fighting at times is actually brilliantly done.
And I mean, it's not a spoiler to say that it takes place in an HMYOI, Polmont. It's Her Majesty's Young Offender Institute, so that's the setting for it.
Yeah, and
I think it's important to say
it
that.
is. The year was set as 2019, so pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And I thought Jonjo's character, who is a lad with a stammer, and he's very, he's almost seems to be constantly on the edge of
and that is explained to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And he's new to
the environment.
He's not used to it, whereas the other two characters have got more history and have been involved maybe with the law since they were quite young.
I think
certainly
12 or 11 was the youngest
one
for...
one it's specific.
For Cain.
It's 12, and the other guy has a lot of history because, just the way he speaks about the system and everything. Very fast-paced dialogue, which is so realistic.
Yes.
And just poking fun at each other, trying to find that vulnerability. As Rebecca said in her notes, it's a place where you cannot be vulnerable.
And they almost push, quite early on in the play, they almost push Jonjo to that point. Especially, I mean, Cain does, because he's pushing and pushing and pushing, and he almost gets him to breaking point. I just thought those observations and those characterizations were absolutely superb.
But you get throughout the production, you get glimpses of their life that brought them to this. And there's one speech by Cain. Well, it's not so much a speech, but it's in response to Ryan, and it's basically to do with what his life is like outside of the institution. And he feels there's not a lot of hope, and that is quite, wow. There's lots of moments like that it really makes you question, people's lives prior to being in a place like this and what they've got to move on to. There's throughout the production there's those periods of hope, and that's often through education, which is really interesting, and obviously our limited knowledge is that there are lots of classes that go on. Well, hopefully they do still go on, and those do give people opportunities to maybe take their lives that little bit further, and actually
and break the cycle of
absolutely
of crime and punishment and get away from that.
But I just want to repeat that word. The energy in this production is amazing. Just where that hour and 20 minutes it just goes, because you're absolutely focused on these characters. I think Rebecca's role as Grace is a difficult one too, because you feel that she's that bit of humanity almost.
She is. She's very believable, but she could possibly. It's very difficult, but she's a woman who is coming to do childcare with the boys, but she almost seems to be older. She needs to be older.
Possibly,
because she obviously has a life outside of this job that she's doing, and she's got one child. Yeah. Alex, who she talks about.
Yeah. Again, my knowledge is very limited, but I would imagine that you've got to be very careful about what you reveal about yourself
in those environments.
Which is why I say I think it's a difficult role to play, because your instinct would be to reveal something about yourself where you have to be very careful that you don't. And she, for reasons we're not going to go into, she is quite emotional at the end.
And there is a bit, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but there's a bit at the end which I just found absolutely heartbreaking. And I did have tears in my eyes, because it was just so emotional.
It's almost the last few lines.
And I can't stress highly enough how you need to see this piece of work, because it is absolutely stunning. And now we've got to know the guy. The guy. We met them at the press conference, and then we saw three of them. I don't think Ryan, who is Ryan Stoddard, his real name, he was there when we met outside the supermarket, and we were chatting again. And we obviously just we came up at the end because they saw us in the front row.
Just relating to that, and there's something else I want to just mention about the production. I mentioned to them just now at the end. I was telling my parents that we were going to go and see this today, and I said, we'd seen this bit. We knew that they played really very challenging
macho men.
And because they were, trying to hold their own in a situation, and I said, but we've met these guys, and they're not like that. They are, but they're
so believable on stage. They are absolutely believable. You believe that these,
that they are like their characters, but they are not. Just going back to when I was saying that Rebecca as Grace is that sort of element of humanity. Actually, that's not quite true. She's not, because there are conversations between the characters, especially Ryan's character.
The guys you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about just the guys. And Ryan, actually, his relationship that develops between himself and Jonjo. There's quite an element of humanity.
They are on a journey. It's only an hour and 20 minutes, but they are on a journey, those boys. They become, clearly they're not friends at the beginning, but they do become friends and they do care about each other, and especially, I mean, don't want to give.
Well,
that,
they would
if you
not.
Think about
they would. Yeah, they wouldn't describe themselves.
No, they wouldn't.
But
no,
we as an audience can see that actually they do begin to care.
They care for each other.
Yeah. And we can't.
And something happens to one of them, but we
can't
tell you what. But actually, the reaction of the other guys.
Yeah.
To that.
Well, yeah. So it brought out a lot of emotion in us in response to what we've just witnessed. I
mean, it's on until it is selling out. But if you can't get any tickets off the Fringe website, as we've said many times before, contact the space to try and get tickets. It's on until it's the 8th to the 28th of August, even dates.
Yeah.
It's not on every day; it's every other day. And tickets are £9.50 plus the concession of £6.50, and it really is an exceptional piece of work, a must see. I don't know what you're going to give it in stars, but it gets a 5 from me.
Yeah.
I mean, we did say to the guys, you can probably guess what we're going to say in stars, but it's a 5. It's such a strong 5-star piece of work.
Definitely a 5.
Yeah. So go see it. It's amazing. And we'll be back again later on for After Party, which is another space production, and then we are seeing Sunshine on Leith later on this evening. So we'll be back later on today. See you then. Thanks so much for watching.
Okay,
bye.
Bye.